Good morning guys, happy Monday. I hope you're having a fabulous day. For today's look, I am taking inspiration from two of my favorite all-time YouTube vloggers. One is Pixiwoo and one is Desi Perkins. They have both done a peach-inspired dewy skin makeup look. I was so obsessed with it, I had to try and replicate it. This is my version of what they were doing. I got a lot of tips and tricks from them, which is really fantastic. I will link both of their videos below. So if you would like to see how I got to this look, then please keep on watching. Okay, let's get rid of this hair, put on my kitty ears. There we go. So I've already moisturized and prepped my skin. So what I am going to be going in with first is a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury. Now I'm devastated. I smashed my bottle of Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter on the floor, and this is what I could salvage. I'm so upset. It cost me a fortune, but it's okay. I'm going to use a little bit of that today. And what this does is it gives your skin just a really yummy radiance. And I'm only putting it just on the lower half of my face because I've broken out on top. I don't want my forehead to be sort of greasy. And this product is a little bit heavy, but it makes your skin look really gorgeous and youthful and dewy. So I came across some amazing foundations today and I'm surprised that I love them so much. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy Smooth Finish Foundation. Now these were $15 and I am a bit of a snob when it comes to makeup. I usually don't like drugstore stuff, but I was really surprised by the coverage of this stuff. It is so beautiful. So I think I might actually grab a few more of these to put in my kit. I'm actually really excited about this. So I am going to be mixing this foundation with a little bit of the Marc Jacobs dewy highlighter. I'm just taking my Real Techniques sponge and I'm just pouncing this product into my skin. If you want a finish that isn't heavily caked, a beauty blender is really good for that, or even these Real Techniques sponges. These are actually cheaper than the beauty blenders and I prefer them. They've got a flat surface and then they've got a pointed side, and I was able to get 4 of these for $30, whereas the beauty blenders are $30 each. I'm not going to heavily cover my face. I'm just going to even out the skin tones and textures, and then I'm going to spot treat the areas that I need more coverage. Don't forget to blend into the ears, you guys. It's so important. And underneath your jawline and a little bit behind your ear, because if you're wearing your hair up, or even if you're wearing your hair down and you don't blend this entire area, you end up having a line. To correct the darkness under my eye, I'm going in with the Bobbi Brown Peach Bisque corrector. This is a peach based corrector and it counteracts the blue under the eyes, and I unfortunately have a lot of that. And if I don't color correct first, you can still see the shadow, which isn't the nicest. But I don't cover it heavily. I just do a thin layer. And this is actually a really beautiful concealer to just use on its own. I know that when I'm not really into wearing a lot of makeup and I've got to get going, I'll just put a little bit of this on and it really just brightens up my under eye. You can see it's made the biggest difference already. Because I want to keep my under eyes quite hydrated, I'm going to be using the Double Wear Stay in Place Falls Concealer by Estee Lauder. And I'm also going to be spot correcting those little pimples that I have here and there. And you just want to be very light-handed when you want to spot treat any pimpled areas. You don't want to apply it heavily because then you end up with a lighter circle. So you kind of just pop a little bit on and then you use your finger, the warmth of your finger, to just smooth it out and blend it in. And then it's like a magic eraser, it just disappears. It's fantastic. And you want to use a concealer that's almost the same color as your foundation, maybe just a touch lighter. If you use a concealer that is 3 times lighter than what you meant to be, you really notice the difference afterwards. Because I want my skin to look fresh and dewy, I'm not going to be using a lot of powders, but I find that if I don't set my under eye, it tends to crease almost immediately. So I know I use this in every video, but I use the Fenty Beauty Invissimatte blotting powder. I just haven't come across anything else that's this finely milled, and when you're looking for a under eye setting powder, you need something that is really fine. It doesn't settle into the creases and it creates a blurring effect, and that's pretty much what this powder does. And it's lasted a long time. I know I'm hitting pan, but I use this every single day and it's lasted me probably over 6 months. And I'm only just going to lightly powder the rest of my face. I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish in number 2. And what I do is I just kind of powder underneath my cheekbones, across my chin, a little bit down my nose, and in the middle of my forehead. I don't like the middle of my forehead to look shiny, it just makes me look oily, and I just do it around the nose, just a little bit. Now I don't want to heavily contour my face today, I just want to bronze it up and give it a nice flushed look. I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Honey Stick Foundation, and this is just a little bit darker than my skin, just a little bit. And I'm just popping it in the areas that I need bronzing. Just a little bit on the forehead, obviously across this double chin here, and a little bit down my nose. And then I like to blend that out with the blender because it just melts into the skin. And what I do is I push it in and I make sure that I don't drag it down, because you are still trying to create a soft cheekbone. When you drag that down, it ends up looking much lower and it looks a little nuts. So I push into the skin, but I'm also kind of pushing it up. And then that way you get a really nice light cheekbone, nothing too heavy. If you decide you want just a touch more of a cheekbone, you can go in with a darker contour cream. I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier contour palette, and I'm going to be using the lighter brown contour one. I'm just going to be using an Artiste brush, and I'm only going to be concentrating just on that outer corner, just there. I'm not going to be putting it anywhere else, just a little bit here. And that just intensifies that cheekbone without making it too crazy. Once again, going back in with the blender, pressing it in, making sure that you don't drag down the product. Now I'll be following Desi's advice and using her 2 favorite go-to cream highlighters, Marc Jacobs and the iconic Illuminator. Just taking my beauty blender, I'm pinching it like this, and I'm just placing it on the high points of my cheekbones. And the reason why I'm using a blender is because it pushes it into the skin, and it also takes away the majority of the, not the majority of the product, but it doesn't layer it right on. And then you get this really beautiful natural glow. You can follow it up with a powder if you prefer, but today, because I want it all to look dewy and fresh, I'm just going to be using the creams. Actually, I might be a little bit bougie today and go in with something else. I just recently bought this new Stila Magnificent Metals eyeshadow, and this one is called Starlight. It is so pretty. It's just this gorgeous, it almost looks like a highlighting concealer, but that just over the entire lid looks so gorgeous. So today I'm actually going to use it as a bit more of a booster highlight. To create my crease, I'm going to be going in with the Juvias Place palette, and I'm going to be using Morocco. I'm not going to be using a lot of this. I just want to create a small crease. And because I'm using peach colors, I've decided to use an orange. It's actually a little bit peachy as well. Just looking down in your mirror and then just creating that crease there. Now, if you feel like you have over blended a particular eyeshadow, what you can actually do, which is a really cool trick, is go back in with your powdered brush and just sweep over the top of that area. What that does is it takes away any harsh lines and almost acts as an eraser. So what I'm going to be using as a base for my eyeshadow is I'm going to go back in with the Stila liquid eyeshadow, and I'm just going to be placing that on my entire mobile lid. And then it's just going to act as a highlight for the shadow and just going to bring that peach color out a bit more, make it a little bit brighter. Using another Juvia's Place palette, which is called the Festival palette, I'm going to be going in with this really pretty light peach color with a flat shader brush. And I'm just going to be laying that down just over what we've just done there. Then you can go back in with that first palette and use that orange shade and just go over that little line that you've created and just blend that out just a little bit more. I'm just going to go in the under eye area with that same color, just shading along, just along the bottom there. Now, if you've taken a step back and you feel like something is missing, like I do right now, what I'm going to do is just go in the outer corner of my eye with a brown pencil. I'm going to be using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Bourbon, and I'm just going to smudge along that lash line, just on the outer corner. I'm not going all the way in. I just want to create a little bit of a lift just out the edge. I'm not going past my lashes. I'm just kind of keeping it right in this corner here. Is you take a pointed shader brush and you just diffuse that line. To coat my lashes, I'm going in with the Better Than Sex mascara by Too Faced. And I'm really going to focus on coating these lashes. Because I'm not wearing any falsies, I really want to lengthen my natural lash. Now, I have really curly eyelashes, so I find that whenever I do try to put on several layers of mascara, I inevitably always get it on the tops of my lids. Happens every time, and I already have a little bit there now. But I will wait till that dries, and then I will use a spoolie and just scratch it off. You don't want to wipe it straight away because then you're going to create a smear. For my bottom lashes, I'm going to be using MAC Extended Play. As you can see, it's quite a long, thin brush. So I find that it just coats all of my lower lashes quite nicely. There is no lovely way to put on mascara. You have to be like when you're doing your lower lashes. Not the best look. You see? I look crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna pop on some eyebrows and I'll be back in just a sec. For blush today, I'm going to be continue using creams, and I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Palette. And I'm just going to actually make up my own type of color. I'm probably just going to go in with a little bit of these two, just with my finger, and I'm just going to press it onto both cheeks. Don't worry, I sterilize my palettes and my fingers are disinfected, so don't worry guys. I have the icicle alcohol spray for my hands and they're so clean that they're basically dry. To highlight my inner corners, I'm going back in with the Juvias Place palette and I'm going to be using this color here called Zuri. And I'm just going to take a touch of that under my brow bone. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it a little bit on my hand first because I don't want a really obvious highlight. Just want one that's just in the arch there. I'm just going to put a little bit on my cupid's bow. For my lips, I'm going in with the MAC Mineral Glass in Modest. This is actually empty. I use it every day. It's a really pretty gloss. To set the entire look, I'm going in with the MAC Fix Plus in Lavender. Give myself a good soaking. Because I'm a glow junkie, I have decided that I don't have enough highlighter on. So typical me. But I just bought this Stila Heaven's Hue highlighter in Kitten. And I'm so obsessed with it. It's so pretty. I'm just going to be putting just a touch more on the high points of my cheeks. Just a little bit. And then what else I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit on my shoulders and just create a little bit of highlight for when I'm in the sun. Just a little bit. I'm not topless, I promise. I've got a boob tube on. Look. Looks like I'm naked though. So this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun playing around with these peach tones and I'm always so inspired by the amazing makeup artists that I see on YouTube. Like I said, Pixiwoo and Desi Perkins, two of my all-time favorites. If you like this video, please give it a like, comment below, tell me what you think and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching you guys. I really appreciate it and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.